and welcome to the CRO Podcast with your hosts, myself, Courtney, and Will.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the podcast. We're co-founders of the CRO agency and manage the CRO network.
That is correct. And today we're going to be diving into some key design principles for any website to optimize for conversion rate. So the key items that we're going to discuss today is really looking at building for mobile, optimizing above the fold, avoiding cognitive overload, and then just really integrating those conversion principles: convenience, clarity, in for a penny, in for a pound, and value. So without further ado, let's get started. Building for mobile. Thoughts, feelings,
Yeah.
emotions.
Well, so we wanted to cover this topic because, again, we audit a lot of web pages, and we see very, very recurring issues with a lot of the one, and it's just kind of fundamental about how people design, and we have ways of working. So one of the most common things we see is that, particularly small business owners who don't have a dedicated designer, they always design for desktop because we work on laptops or computers, like we work on desktop. So it's designed and built for desktop. It's how like they're most familiar with it. However, most traffic nowadays is mobile. This is particularly like if you're ever running a paid landing page, the percentage, and just say you run like Meta is by far the most common channel to use, or PPC, but Meta, you're looking at 90% mobile traffic, literally 90%. And even
It's
nowadays,
huge.
PPC is well over 50%. It's much, yeah. So nowadays you have to build for mobile. There are some difficulties about this because how do we build for mobile when we're on desktop? There's actually lots of really straightforward ways to do this. Any kind of builder nowadays will have a mobile view. So first build it for mobile, ignore the desktop. Just, whenever we design something, we design the mobile version first and then retroactively do the desktop one. And then the ways we, kind of keep it focused on that is what you can do to view mobile on desktop is to right click and inspect, and then click inspect any web page. That will pull up a viewport that allows you to view it in different manners. You then select, and this part is really quite important, iPhone 12 Pro. That's the correct dimensions to be optimizing around. It is the largest small screen, most common small screen nowadays. So if everything's visible there, and we'll talk about above the fold and why this all matters next. But if it's all visible there, then you're winning. So yeah, it's really important that when you're designing it, you design around mobile. Don't take the mobile viewports that is inbuilt to the builder as gospel. Build it, open the page, preview it, right click, inspect, and look at a mobile iPhone 12 Pro. That way you can be really confident you're building to the right dimensions, because some of these mobile built, the people who built the software for building have ironically built it for people to mainly design on desktop in a lot of cases.
And I mean, honestly, to be fair, screens change all the time, all of the different mobile versions and things like that. I mean, how is there an iPhone every year or something? Just being able to just be sure you're getting the right sizes is so important.
It is hard. Whereas desktop has been pretty static for a long time.
Yeah.
So the desktop builders, when you're building in that desktop window, it's as you see on desktop. But for mobile, iPhone 12 Pro, which is 390 pixels wide and 844 pixels long. That is what you care about more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that brings us do I have any other on building for mobile? I mean, to be fair, we're going to get into this a little bit, so I don't want to talk about it too much. But I mean, when designing, design 100%, as Will says, about what you're going to see. So that's that above the fold on that first load, exactly what you're going to see. On top of that, just for ease of use, design it in a way that also makes sense for people to interact on mobile. So think of font sizes, think of button sizes, think of things like that, think of thumb zone.
It's 16
it's so
pixels.
important.
16-point font is minimum for mobile, right? I want to say. That's the standard font for mobile body. That's the smallest you want to go. You can go down to 13 for very sub copy, or for for highlight text. When it comes to the fonts, we should know them off the top of our heads, but clearly I don't. Do look up the best practice font sizes. It is quite important.
100%. But those sorts of things, like that's what we're, it's not just what you see. I mean, it is what you see, but it's also how you can interact and what's going to
Mm,
happen beyond that. And I think that
yeah.
kind of moves into above the fold, which we'll probably talk about this again anyway. But above the fold, so above the fold is the first screen that you see when it loads. So if you click on like a link and that screen loads, like everything that you see in that is there above the fold. And this is the most important real estate in the whole of your website, the whole of your page, because as we've just said, everyone is looking at this. You have 100% of your audience looking at that. So you want to make sure that you're optimizing and you want to make sure that they're seeing exactly what they need to see.
You see really high attrition rates on pages. Like mostly, the vast majority of people will not scroll. Like the vast majority of people will look at that and decide to bounce, and i.e. to leave the page or to engage with the page. And then you can, we look at a lot of this like scroll data. Very like not that
Yeah.
many people continue the journey down. Obviously, if they do, if they're more engaged and like that, there are good things about this. But if you really want to influence conversion rate, particularly for that bounce rate, that top level metric. So like getting more people into the top, into and engaging with your page above the fold is everything.
Vital. Yeah.
Yeah.
Above the fold is everything. Exactly. And I mean, this is something that again, we're gonna be going into these conversion principles as well, but things like relevance and things like, just making sure that what you are showing them actually has, makes sense for them to be seeing. You're giving them a clear path. You want to have a CTA above the fold. The amount of times Will and I have looked at a web page that does not have a CTA above the fold is wild. Like in this day and age, with all of the information available on the internet on how to kind of build a website and what you sort of need, it seems to me absolutely just insane that, web pages still don't have a CTA above the fold. And huge, like, what was it, Barclays? Like huge companies are doing this. And you just think, what are you doing?
Was it? Yeah. But we see it again and again. And like, the other like really, really core things that when we talk about optimizing above the fold, like what do we mean by that? Yeah. Have a visible CTA. Can you have a bit of visible social proof to like immediately reassure users that this is good? Like how much screen size are you eating up or not? So like a lot of people have banners that then push down everything and then everything goes below the fold. Or they have really big headers that eat up loads of retail space on the mobile screen.
Or
which
just
again,
an image
yeah,
for no reason.
An image that works on desktop, great, because we've got the extra stuff. But on mobile, again, it just doesn't, it doesn't really add anything.
It doesn't translate. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
It just is like it's too much. It's too cluttered. And are you trying to fit in then again, that like too much onto the above the fold because you want to have, because it's so, it's because it's such expensive real estate or it's so important. If you're putting too much above the fold and it's just cognitive overload, people are getting overwhelmed, that's going to make them bounce as well. So you need to find that happy medium of just boiling it down to those elements that you need, like trust, like a CTA, like a headline, social proof, and then being able to just do that in a way that really works.
Yeah. I will say like we talking about building and optimize for mobile and above the fold. Obviously, again, desktop does matter. It is relevant, particularly for more B2B businesses. However, like a question we do get is like, so how do you actually do this? Like, so we use Figma. There's a really easy plugin which makes designing in Figma super easy. Figma can be quite tricky and quite scary to people, but really you do not need to be afraid of Figma. It's called the HTML to design plugin. And just whack your web page into it and it will export it on desktop and on mobile. And then you can,
it's amazing.
At that point, then you can start, designing actually in Figma and like get it exactly how you want it. So you have a reference point and you can, what we always do when we're designing is have a, like a gray bar next to the like mobile page or the desktop page of like that shows the fold. Right. Really straightforward. Like we'll just have something there that
so
just makes sure that like we always know where the fold is so we can show and keep it nice and visible. And yeah, so that is like kind of the how to do it, like HTML to design. It's a Figma plugin. It's super
it's life
powerful.
on easy mode. Yeah,
like actually building from scratch probably sort of difficult. But nowadays there are you can do it very, very quickly. And to be fair, we haven't explored this as much, but I have heard it from other people. You can use AI nowadays to kind of like do the initial sketching and do this and do that. So like, again, I'm sure if you ask AI to do, an initial draft on desktop or mobile, then you can kind of work with them from that one or then take it from there. And then, just so you've got something that isn't, tied to however you're building the page. So you've got something, in a third-party way that you can, really tweak and get right for however you want. Because, this is how you optimize. Whereas, these tools that build websites often, they just don't have them built in because it's, they go for other features that, usability and things like this.
Yeah. Usability.
Well, I meant user interface, but like how to use the builder. But
I mean, and then I guess it goes on to avoiding cognitive overload. I did already mention this. I've jumped the gun again. But, if you do have it too cluttered, if you have, 4 different, 5 different, 6 different like colors in your palette, if it's all really like jarring colors, if it's too much text and it's too bold, it's all together, all the bits and pieces, it's all sitting on each other, you've got pictures and you've got animations and everything. That is what we would consider cognitive overload. And that means
we've got some great examples of this later from the Hall of Shame and Fame. I think we found good examples of where like they've optimized and they've avoided, and one where they have not. They've taken a different.
They went the other direction.
They went in a different direction.
I mean, choices were made.
We've only very briefly looked at these pages, so we will, wait and see. As will you guys, I guess, or
stay
you just skip ahead.
Yeah.
Cognitive overload is go.
I mean, you just don't want it. Yeah, I mean, it's too much. It's too much. You don't want to have people coming to your website and then all of a sudden they're going to have to leave because you're just shouting at them. No one wants that. Everything is already too much as is. Life, we're all just, fighting for our lives out here. Don't send me to a website that is going to then just be so much information. My brain literally cannot actually digest that,
And it's particularly on mobile. Like it is a smaller screen. Like so often we see, because they have all this stuff on desktop, mobile, you see you have all this stuff, like all this writing, all this information, and it's just not going to translate to people. No. Less is more. I mean, we'll go into
less is always more.
Yeah, we'll go into the conversion principles, but it's one of the things that you just crop up again and again and again. Less is edit. That's why it matters. Executive summaries matter more than the entire report.
I think also something that's I think something that's quite handy to know is like it's very difficult to get to this stage that we're talking about. It is actually really difficult to kind of optimize and have something. So when I'm designing, and I'm in Figma and I'm doing my things, I know in my bones what I want, but getting to that stage, I generally have to go through a couple of drafts because I have to first get all the like elements that I want. So I want to have a social proof element. I want to have a CTA. I want to have a headline. I want to have all of these things. I know, okay, I want those. I put them down. I leave it, I come back to it, and then I'm like, okay, I'm refining it. It's like, when you're at uni and you're writing an essay and you sort of get all of the ideas down. It's, terrible. You read it back and you think, gee whiz, like, should I even be enrolled here? But then you kind of go back and you refine it and you do your drafts and you do your thing. And then all of a sudden at the end, you're getting a 1.3 on your bachelor thesis. Shout out me. That's German 1.3, which
I was going to say, I have no idea what
something.
That
it's
means.
like, yeah. Well, the highest mark you can get is a 1 and the lowest you can get is a 6. So I got 1 point, near perfect.
Right.
I digress. But it takes a little while to get there. So like, if you're sat there kind of building a website and you're hearing us and it's like, okay, don't do this and do that and have this and have that. And then you're sort of like, well, what is this sort of mess that I've got in front of me? It does take a few drafts and it takes a few iterations. And even then, through CRO, you're going to be iterating no matter what. Like it's never a done thing and it's never perfect.
Yeah. And I do think we often have the easy job in the sense of it's easier to edit than to create from scratch. So when when you're designing a website, like as Courtney said, like just get it all down and then just like edit it. And leave it for a while, come back to it. Again, you can AI is great. You can ask it to edit it. You can ask it to build it initially. It can help with these parts. Again, I would not rely on it entirely, and it really will struggle.
Yeah, definitely don't.
Yeah. But it can, again, there are useful tools nowadays that can really benefit you. And again, do look at like font sizes and things like this when you're designing for them. We really should have pulled them beforehand.
Yeah, we should have. We definitely do prep before doing this, but
we don't prep every single element.
we don't prep what we're going to say. It all comes, from the heart. So we didn't know that font size is something that we'd be talking about. But good to think about in the future. I mean, from that, we'll just spring straight into integrating the conversion principles.
Yep.
I think that when a lot of companies, and I think a big problem is that a lot of companies, when they're designing their website, they're designing it from their perspective and then designing it from what they want to say, rather than designing it from a perspective of their customer or potential customer. Is what do I as a customer need? What am I interested in, and what is actually going to get me over the line? So having, fancy words and fancy aesthetics and all of this sort of thing, it looks nice. It kind of feels nice, I guess, from a company perspective, like, look at how cool we are. However, from an actual conversion perspective, that's not going to work. What is going to work is a website that is designed for the user. And that's sort of what you need to keep in mind.
And what do we mean by
into it?
Yeah, and what do we mean by a website that's designed for a user? Because this is often someone who's like just landed on your page for the first time. They could be from loads of different places. They could have, lots of different places they could be in the user journey. So what do we mean by that, Courtney?
Yeah, definitely. So what we mean is basically making sure that we have our conversion principles, which is convenience is king, clarity is vital, in for a penny, in for a pound, offer and tease value. So those are just probably like jargony words for the minute, but basically what we're trying to do is make the website relevant, easy to use, easy to understand. We want to have a clear path forward. And we want to make sure that we are also sort of creating momentum. And the way that we do that, specifically also we, as a Will and myself, is with like multi-step forms and things like that. So you actually give the user something to interact with. You give them that sense of, okay, I'm moving forward, I've achieved something, there's momentum happening. And then of course there's offering the teasing value. I obviously, as a potential, a customer of whoever, will be interested in, what am I actually going to get out of this interaction? What am I going to get? I go to a website or I Google something because I want to buy something, no information, that sort of thing. I click generally, because I'm a terrible person. I generally click on the first ad. Like, I always click on the ad things that come up with whoever's bidding on whatever I've Googled. They're getting my click. They are. But I'm going to their website with a specific, okay, I sort of want to get information, or I want to get a product or something. And if you're just kind of sending me to something that I see an image of whatever that has nothing to do with what I search, nothing to do with my search term or anything like that, I'm going to leave. So I want to make sure that you're showing, hey, get your free quote, or get this like ebook, or get that discount or whatever else,
some clear value.
Yeah.
Yeah,
definitely.
I think when we go through the principles, like convenience is king, like what we that really, really fundamentally boils down to is like there is a clear user journey in all cases. Like what so let's say you're a B2B business or whatever, you may want to drive appointments, so you have get a free appointment in your header as just a button that exists, and then you'll just keep that consistent. You won't be like adding lots of different potential things, this, that, the other. Just like have one core journey that you just continually repeat, and like you are like very clear that this is what happens, this is what needs to this is what you want any prospective user to be doing. So you're having a really clear user journey, and we always recommend use multi-step form, because it's just the best way to get people through a user journey nowadays. So you can embed them into, often, people write SEO articles. It's really important, or like just like more longer form pages, and then they'll just have like a CTA, like book your appointment. That can be really good. However, better way of doing that is just by making it more engaging. It's just embedding your little multi-step form. It's very, very easy to do so. And then you said you're asking them a first question, so you're leading them into the journey. So they know that like they need to respond to this, like yes. Then they respond to the next question, and then then you're like, okay, now think we can help you. Let's book an appointment. So again, you've made a really clear, easy user journey. You've not made the person work for it. You've not made them like think about like what do they need to do. Like we see this again and again, where it's like, oh, so like what exactly do you need, and what is like they probably don't know.
Yeah.
Like again, just
stop.
Like,
don't give them choice. Or if you do give them choice, give them the illusion of choice. in the sense of you kind of want to have them, you know where they should be. You know where you want them. You know that you have this product and you want to, or you have this, whatever, you want a service. You want them to get there. So give them a clear journey on how to get there and give them a few options, tailor it to them in the sense of illusion of choice, just tailor it to them. All of the journeys lead to the same spot, but you're asking potentially specific questions about them, about their circumstances, which is going to make, the value much more tangible because they think, okay, what I'm getting is really tailored to me. You're making sure that you are kind of thinking about their circumstances as a company, whether you are or not, unfortunately stands to debate. But by giving that illusion, by being able to create something that is much more in tune with what your potential customer wants, you're much more likely to have them go through. And if you just keep that choice that they have, it's not a choice of like yes or no, do you want this? It's a choice of, okay, how do you want this? Do you want it like this or do you want it like this? And
just
that's that
assume
idea.
they don't know. Just if you just assume that they just don't know yet, then you just make a guided journey that shows them like, okay, you know what
I'll
you're
help
doing,
you.
and so ergo you should now be talking to us.
Yeah,
simple
exactly.
as that.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, I think that also part of that is the in for a penny, in for a pound. So what we mean by that is when people start a journey, they're more likely to finish it. So what you want to be doing is also making sure that people get engaged right from the get-go. And the way that we do that is with those CTAs. So you have that CTA straight away, and that's part of that convenience is king. I have that CTA available readily. Clarity is vital. I know exactly what I have to do. I have to click on that CTA because that's going to take me further. In for a penny, in for a pound is I've clicked on this CTA. I now have a question that is tailored to my experience, which makes me feel like this is more valuable. I'm going to click on that question because I do have an answer to that. And then I'm going to go to the next question, which is creating momentum, which is further cementing that idea of in for a penny, in for a pound. And depending on the questions is also going to increase that value offer that you have on the table. And then at the end, hopefully, you will have like had all of this convenience and all of this clarity and all of this, what's it called? Like in for penny, in for pound. What am I doing? I'm investing like all of this investment. And that's when they become a lead. And that's how you just sort of have to think about it. It's very, very simple, but it's also very much everything working together in that concept.
I appreciate it can be very counterintuitive for people because like what you often see is like when someone says like, book an appointment, they're like, oh, well, I guess I'll show them an appointment booker now. Like that's like, oh, like but often people just aren't quite there yet. That so instead you just need to warm them up a little bit so they think, okay, now you're right, I should be booking an appointment because I've answered these questions. You can clearly help. You clearly know what by having this multi-step journey, you've reinforced that you are these experts and you can help them. Same things. Actually, to be honest, you see this again and again with like white papers. People love a white paper to like, put up on the website, give me your email and you'll download it. And this is just like, that's the penny. You're offering a little bit of value, then you do CRM and you'll warm them up for months and then you'll like eventually start pushing them to do the journey. And like, so there are lots of parallels, but you can even do a multi-month, warming up journey, which is necessary and very educational as well. And, very necessary in a lot of cases. Like it's a very valid strategy. However, you can also achieve that via a relatively simple funnel on your website that drives to a different part. And again, you will get better or worse quality of leads depending on the kind of friction. Like if you do a white paper, then CRM and this, that, like be very good quality leads, but you just get very few of them. Whereas if you have a good clear user journey that captures their lead for like immediate sales outreach, again, you can build into a really, really high performing sales outreach strategy, because if you've gathered the right information by asking the right questions, you can ask really specific and meaningful questions that people want answers to.
Beautiful.
Upfront teasing value, we have talked about a little bit, but just we'll show some really cool examples of this one. But the real like big one for this one, like when you're thinking about the value, is we often, when we're right at the bottom of the funnel of like, what we want, like, I've come to this website to like maybe to trial the demo, to do this, to do that, or to sign up for their software, or, you often have an idea. Now, usually these things are like, they could be paywalled, they could be, the value is right at the end of the journey. You have to do these things and then you get access to the thing. What you can do instead is like right at the start of the journey, show the value, so we're going to show one example, Monday.com. I hope they still do this, and they used to do this. It's a great user journey. But on their sign up, they would immediately send you to their CRM. And that would be the first thing that they did. But then it'll pop up with like, oh, we just need this additional information to tailor it for them. That CRM they showed you, completely false. And then it was the tailoring that the questions, basically it's a multi-step form that then later on regenerated an actual meaningful interface that you could engage with and everything. So if you can tease that instead of having it right at the end, show it at the beginning, and then just to reinforce it. And then, you can re-add the steps of like, you need to give us information to access this.
Yeah, I think it also helps because there's a really big difference if someone says, hey, I've got something for you. It's really, really good and you're going to want it. And you're like, well, what is it? Show it to me. And they're like, no, just do this and I will show it to you and you'll really like it. Whereas if someone says, hey, look at this, you can have this. I just need you to do something.
This is a much better explanation.
Huge difference. Yeah, like it's it's so because it feels very untrustworthy for someone to be like, no, just trust me. I do have it and you will like it. And you're like, well, I don't know how do you know? Whereas if you actually see it, you can for yourself recognize I actually do want that, and it is worth enough for me to do the 3 things that you've asked. And that's what it's about. And it's just about making sure that you don't just rely on people trusting that you have it. It's showing that you do have it so that they know they're not going to get.
Yeah. No, I think that's bang on the money. So if you like, I think it's a tiny summary because we have covered a lot of ground here. Main things, if you want to design for a website, any kind of literally any web page, first off, design for mobile first. It really, most businesses 100%. Is the most important part. Optimize above the fold. The things people first see is the single most valuable real estate, and you want to make sure that content is as optimal. Like spend your time there, not on the entire, like all the other stuff, which is usually the other way around. People usually spend like 5 minutes on the top part and then all the time building this really long, fancy web page. Other way around. Avoid cognitive overload. So like lots of white space, really trim down what you want to show above the fold. And just like be really specific, and then use our conversion principles, or like not ours, like just everyone's conversion principles of convenience is king, just nice, clear, easy user journeys. Clarity is vital. Just like simplify it down. Don't show paragraphs. Just like boil it down. Again, very similar to the cognitive overload idea. In for a penny, in for a pound. Like just help them through the journey. Don't assume that they know where they need to go. Just like help them engage. And offer and tease your value and just make it as clear as possible. This is what they're getting. And now you just need to do this. So it's, cool.
Love it. Well, with that, let's have a look at our Hall of Fame and Shame.
Right. So this week we are doing the CRM software vertical. Again, really big lead gen vertical, but also a SaaS vertical. So what we thought in this case, we showed the SaaS journey instead of the lead gen journey. So this is businesses like sign up to them. So what we've done, again, we're using PPC again, because I think that's the most intuitive journey here. We have for your delight today, monday.com followed by Pipedrive. So the Google search in this case were, best SME CRMs UK, I want to say. And then these Pipedrive was position 1. So this is, they are paying a lot of money for this one. That like CRM is an unbelievably competitive verticals, and PPC, those CPCs right at the top, wow, expensive. Monday.com, more position 3 or 4, which is what we want to see. And as like a market position, just give you guys the context, like Monday.com is probably like one of the biggest nowadays, but they were always a challenger brand. Pipedrive has been around, probably a little bit more legacy than Monday.com, but also been a challenger brand. So we'd expect both of these to be pretty high performance, frankly. So should we start off with Monday.com?
Let's do it.
Okay. So just reopen the link and let's see what happens. Here we go. God, it's lovely, isn't it? Sorry. But look at that. Just, they've got a beautiful, just, one headline, one thing, and then just like, like, look, so much white space.
Nice.
I love it. Such a spoiler. I'm sorry, but I'm so impressed with it. I'm going to look at it on mobile as well. I'll keep the cookie thing open. Actually, no. I even like the fact that the cookie thing was discreet. I really respect it. Let's reload this one.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
Nice. Look at that
I
social
mean,
proof. It's simple. It could be a little bit shorter, that subheader. It's
yeah,
like
on mobile,
bullet
that could be a little bit,
points.
yeah,
Yeah.
like that. People probably aren't immediately reading that on mobile. So here you
No.
would benefit from a slightly different thing.
Yeah.
Also, interesting difference. Actually, no, it's not. Sorry, ignore me, ignore me. But here you can see like request demo, get started. So you have marginally different journeys that are visible, and you don't have the what do you want to get started with. So here
Yeah.
they're
That would just
using the
be
space.
far too difficult. Yeah. I think it's a
Yeah,
perfect
but
example of designing for desktop and designing for mobile. If you tried to get all of those little boxes onto mobile,
be
it would be
horrendous.
terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they've done really well here.
Yeah. Although, I mean, I will say one thing I would actually love to see is they could maybe have, because what I think those buttons do is it
Mm,
gives someone like something to immediately engage with. Like that's the
yeah.
penny. Once you said like, oh, I want a sales one, it's like great. Like now
Yeah.
we're helping you through the pipeline. So maybe what they could do is just like a yes no, like some other simpler
Yeah.
question here instead of this body text. So like a question based journey
Hmm.
instead. But
I could see that.
um yeah. Um, I'm going to continue scrolling down. I think then we'll click on get started. But yeah, and I like aligned journeys. You know, they're not trying to,
Yeah,
brilliant.
beautiful.
No credit card access, get full access, trusted by two.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
brilliant.
know who's coming on a mobile. Like they really have
Yeah,
designers for mobile traffic, haven't they?
yeah. I don't even hate the hero image. I don't think it's doing much here, but I think it's fine. You know, it's kind of pretty. It's fine. It's not
Yeah.
taking up valuable real estate particularly. You know, it's not aiding. It's not cluttering the screen.
Yeah.
So Monday Theorem helps with SME. So yeah, immediately going in there with like the case studies and the trust and the value, you know, that's really cool. And I like the way they've done this, where they just show one at a time. I think that's quite
Hmm.
important.
But you
So
can
like
also
give it
see
the
that
space
there's
to read.
more. So you got that
Yeah,
little sneak peek, which is
yeah,
good because otherwise some people wouldn't scroll. I mean, you don't really need to scroll, but it sort of just shows that there's more, which is
yeah.
nice.
I think this part is also kind of interesting. So now they're actually going a bit more into. So at this point, like if you're not immediately convinced, then now let's get a bit more educational. So it's united
Hmm.
everything all in one place. You know, this is nice and easy. Get started, align journey. You know, again, the other USP, like this is the other pain point. Like just manage your deals, nice and simple, very short copy. You know, they could write. They've got features for days. They could write so many
Yeah.
features here. Instead, they've just limited themselves to like a headline and some sub copy.
Nice
Love it.
having the CTA throughout as well, because at that
Yeah.
moment, like, they're giving everyone the opportunity to sort of have their pain spoken to. And as soon as that is, they can get straight into the journey. They don't have to scroll any further up or down, anything like that, which is making it
Yeah.
very convenient.
They've got a clear user, like they know what they've got a user journey and it's good get started. So like that's
Hmm.
what you want you to do. They're
Let's,
hawking it. I love it.
yeah,
Built for teams tired of fighting this, so they're starting to do pain point stuff. That, this is bad and this is good. Yeah, I quite don't mind it. Integration. So this is more to the features part, and then FAQs. I do quite like an FAQ. Like you could instead have loads of information, quick FAQs. It's a really nice overview.
yeah.
And then
It's
finally,
so much better. It's less cluttered.
yeah. And then I do like that it then has right at the bottom, reiterates the user journey. Again, if I'm honest though, I would say get started. I'm not sure about the different start my free trial. Maybe.
Mm,
Actually, I am curious whether at this point, if they've ignored all of them, this having a different one here is like a meaningful. I've honestly never tested having a completely different CTA at the bottom, which I
yeah.
could believe after all the reading and education
Yeah, exactly.
could be
Some people just be like, all right, I just want to start my free trial. Like I've already seen it has all of the things that I want. So I'm just ready to dive into it as opposed to go through some sort of, at the
yeah.
minute, we don't really know what get started really refers to.
Should we find out? I'm
Let's
going to
do
do it for
it.
mobile and then on desktop, but let's get started. Is it going to do it on desktop? Okay, so you get immediate paywall here. What I'm actually going to do, because I'm curious, and also because, I'm curious what the desktop journey is here. Because historically, it was one of my favorite journeys. If I click get started, okay, so it no longer, okay, we just go to this journey. You know what? Sure, we can sign up for Monday.com. Yeah, sure. Let's see. I like the Google journey, but like it's always, so we've
Much
got a nice,
easier.
clear, multi-step thing. One last
Question.
Sure.
I mean, it was only 2 questions.
And now they immediately I hope they're going to immediately bring us to the thing. Getting
Yes,
the
look
CRM
at
ready.
that.
So pretty. And
Such a wonderful.
brilliant. That was
Yeah.
good. So like they showed you the thing. They're like, oh, you're about to access it. Oh, it's only a bit more. Remind me later. getting it ready. Oh, you got to do this. So whenever they want you to do something, they are flicking this first. I'm actually going to X this and see if I get. Oh, it's brilliant.
Wow,
they keep flicking up the thing. They're like, no. Do you want to do this instead? The value. So impressed.
Love it. It's so good. It works so well. Having that blurred out in the background, having that loader, having it all there. Like it honestly does feel like something's actually happening, and like as if there's some sort of like band of little like coders out the back just quickly setting that up,
Yeah. And now they've immediately provided they teased it, they provided they've done a great job here. Nice. Good job.
We love that.
Love it. Well done. Oh, should we have a quick look at it on mobile?
Let's do it.
Is that insane? Oh yeah, let's go to inspect. I think it's going to be quite simple. I'm just curious whether they can do the value teas on mobile in the same way. Now, will I go through the same sign-up journey? I don't know. Yeah, personal, sure. Okay, so they have a slightly different user journey here. They're getting a bit more buildy. Okay, so now they push you. This is actually, I quite like this.
That's actually quite smart because I mean, a CRM is definitely not like a mobile first kind of situation, is it? So that's actually really, really good.
Yes, instead they ease you through it.
I mean, download the app, but
I think it's cool. Yeah.
We love that. Kudos to that.
Hats off to
Earn
Monday.com.
their place in the Hall of Fame, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Second one, Pipedrive. Are we ready to rumble?
Let's go. Let's go.
Oh, are we ready to rumble? I don't think Pipedrive is. I think that's a hot take. This is possibly again. I reckon this click cost them. I reckon this click cost them like £3, and like this is what they've decided to show you. Like
this is
minor,
wild.
Like, you've got all this screen size, all this real estate, and this is the part. Like this is the only meaning. you don't even see the CDA. You don't even see the CDA. We're gonna look on desktop first, and then I hate that they've eaten up this side. I like that they've got a progress bar. That's kind of cool.
To go down,
I don't know who
to pay. I don't.
As you go down, it fills up the thing.
Yeah, but how? I mean, that's just showing like how much stuff, like how much information. Like this is far. Like when we're talking about ATF above the fold, like this is not what you want.
You don't even know where to start with this, do you?
Yeah.
I mean, again, the difference with we'll just do a quick flick to Monday just so you can see the like they know what you want to be doing. Like they're like, you want to get started. Like this is what's happening here. Here, I don't, this. They've got a lot. They don't really know what you want to do. Just like drive them to. Oh my god. Oof.
Yeah.
This is. I mean, imagine if someone reads.
Wait, we're still looking at Monday now.
Sorry. Apologies.
Yep.
I was here.
Yeah.
So this is like, again, this is what you see. So no CTA, nothing about the fold. Don't really, I'm also then immediately drawn to, should I be in these places?
Yeah.
And
it's too much.
And then you scroll down, you've got this try for free. So like, okay, but yeah, you're obviously not clicking on that here. Like there's no reason, there's no trust.
There's no way.
Not, like what the hell is this either? And then you scroll down and like, it's like
there's
an
so
essay.
much text. It's too much text. It's not even aesthetically pleasing. Like it doesn't even look that good.
Business?
Yeah.
God, I mean, this is also in the nicest possible way. This has clearly been made for SEO.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, which I get, it's clearly answering the questions, and it's it's going to get the Google summaries, which will no longer be a thing anymore because of AI. So.
Yeah.
But,
and this is the thing. It's designing a website for the business instead of designing a website for the potential customers.
Yeah. And it's great that it's got all this stuff, but I can't even see the headline. I've forgotten what I'm looking.
I don't know. It's honest, and then there's a video. Like it's far too. This is unbelievable. This is one of. I think this is one of the most terrible.
It's not good. It's really not good.
Anyone at Pipedrive, anyone at all, I beg of you, we can help.
Oh, we'll do such a good job. Okay, let's look at on mobile.
Okay.
I think mobile will be better. And let me just refresh it. Just, okay. It is less overwhelming. I still think also,
No
go for it.
CTA. No
Come
CTA. It's
on.
still
It's
all
just lazy.
copy.
Like,
Yeah.
CRM for small business, scale your sales, manage your leads, private. Like, I mean, Christ, just.
It feels almost like SEO from like way back when people used to just like, put like
Put it all,
the keywords, sort of in white text, like small business, small business, small business.
This is
We
the
got it.
difference, social proof, a little bit of tangible, get started. Small business grow faster. Not like, what.
A picture says
really,
1,000 words, so why do you have like 50 words and no pictures when you could have like 3 words and a picture? But like a picture that's actually good, like a social proof and not just some sort of image.
Yeah. This is no bueno, folks. We are going to click get started. Pipedrive, you're about to get us to sign up. But please don't take this as a positive sign.
This is far too long. I wonder how long that is. That's probably like 9 meters of scrolling.
Oh God, yeah. Yep. Try Pipedrive for free. Oh, no. Okay. First off, that Google journey. So I didn't even notice that Google journey at first.
No, I didn't either.
For the love of God, that should be first. Like, I don't love doing
Convenience
this.
is king. Come on.
But if we click get started here, A, we've got a cute loader, like the loader. B, the Google option is right at the top, and there's no other, there's nothing confused. It's like, look at all that reading versus look at that. Like, which one you're going to engage with? Like, inside the Smart Pluses, Leadium, Pre-Booster, Smart Dogs, Project Features, and like, what
Wait, we're back at, we're still looking
sorry.
at.
I'm sorry. It's the rage. It's the rage is blinding me. Also, different angle, by the way, sales back, like.
Yeah.
Like,
that's exactly the first thing that popped out to me. Like, excuse me, wait, did I click on the right thing? Because I've been looking at something for small business. I've been hit over the head with small business, small business, small business. What do you mean sales management? Like, that doesn't feel connected, even though of course you will have to do sales as a business, but it just doesn't feel connected.
Yeah. Different thing. Like, I show Monday again. I think about cognitive overload and the things we've been talking about, the relevance, clarity is clean, keep convenient journey. Just first off, they've got the convenient sign up option at the top. For clarity and convenience, like welcome to Monday. Like, what's happening. Like, this is they've said all they need to say.
Yeah, exactly.
And whereas again here it's just
it's saying too much and also nothing at all at the same time.
And all these huge buttons, like, and then I've just again by signing up that doesn't you don't need that. Like, we just saw that you don't need that option. And Google really should be at the top. I'm not going to sign. We're not going through that journey. Sorry. Yeah. I know we do this for the sake of education.
I've seen all that I need to see, and it was dissatisfactory.
It was highly dissatisfactory. So yeah, they
reach out.
They need to optimize for mobile. They need to optimize above the phone. They need to avoid cognitive overload, and they need to integrate the conversion principles.
That's 100%. Like, just 10 for 10. 100%. That was honestly fantastic examples of actually thinking about creating a website for your customer and creating a website for your business. And they're two very different things, and one of them is going to work and one of them isn't, and it's very clear which.
And I will say, like, Monday.com started off as project management, pivoted into CRM. It was like a later positioning thing. And I want to say, I don't know what its market share is now, but it has been going up. And I want, like, from the CRM usability point of view, I've actually personally used both. They're both fine. Like, personally, I don't really want to use either, if I'm completely honest. But Monday.com is very easy to use. They always really do prioritize user experience over, like, core functionality. Pipedrive is quite powerful. It's cheap. It's got some, from educate, that is quite good software. But I generally kind of believe like the market share here is kind of being dictated by the the user journey, right, more than anything. And so I mean, that's it on the CRM software part, but hopefully it's illustrated some of these points and how, again, big companies struggle with it. Everybody does struggle with it.
Something to be aware of. Well, if you've come this far, comment the void. We will do a free funnel analysis for you, audit, and give you a loom with some information on how you can optimize. And thank you for holding out with us for so long.
Thank you so much for joining us today, guys. We will see you
talk to you next week.
Okay. Bye bye.
Bye.